Hi, welcome to the very first video of the market recap. It's just going to be quick. We're going to do these videos very quickly, as we are putting a lot of contents in the room, and I'm just putting this out on YouTube. This is going to be a very important week. We have some numbers coming out this week, despite the fact that it's very important in terms of the CPI. It's in terms of the election. We got CPI on Thursday for US. We got CPI for China on Tuesday. We got the Eurozone. Basically, the speakers coming out. A lot of Fed speakers we are going to have. We got PPI also for China on Tuesday. And then also we all have the very important Wednesday election. So what are we seeing? This is a weekly candle, for me very important in terms of the NQ. We've been watching this, a close above the 200 SMA, guys, and this is very important in my view. So this is the week. Are we going to see a recovery of that or no? That's very important. In my opinion, on ES, what I'm looking for, are we going to be able to capture that 38.10 to 38.30? If we don't, and we see a gap up tomorrow, a rejection of that, a comeback, it's all about the 37.20 to 37.05 to 37.20, specifically that 37.10. If we lose that zone, we're coming back to the GP. And I don't think it's going to be a very a rocket science. So we bulls want to see a test of that zone, and that specifically 38.11 to 38 to 38.30, and get the traction above it, hold it, and go for the reverse GP. Or if the rejection comes, I think we're going to retrace all the way back to that 3700, and potentially there is going to be the next leg down to this zone that we are having on the GP. So the clear level that we have 37.10, hold it. It's all about the 38.10 to 38.30. Get above it, go for the GP zone. If we get above the reverse GP, then we got a higher chance for the 39.30 back test that we had and the rejection. If not, and we coming in get the rejection, then it's all about that 37.07 and also 37.10 to 37.07, and then we come back lower. I don't think this is going to hold, and probably it's going to come back to that 36.50 at least minimum. On NQ, bulls got to prove a lot this week, and it's all about, are we going to get we backtested that zone, but I mean on a weekly basis, really, if we really don't get a traction and get a close above the 200 SMA, go for the highs and try to backtest at least that 20 SMA. And if it's red flag, on this whole bounce that we had in this week, we didn't even close above the weekly last week. So it has to be, it's all about the bulls and how they are going to come out to this week and get the job done. Obviously, there's nothing really here. They easily can slide back and go for the new lows. And if this zone, we lose this, then the next major zone that I have is that 97.32. So for bulls, it's all about the ES. Obviously, a lot of the mega cap names, including Apple, Tesla, are really not looking good. On the verge of the breakout on the Google. When I look at the chart, it's probably a lower high, and then it's gonna go for that 70. Amazon is in a big trouble. So bulls got to do it immediately. And my assumption is, if we get a rejection that there this early this week, that most likely going to show, set the temporary top, and then we're coming back to the zones that we have in previous occasion, 3700, 3650. Now, it's all about the CPI. If CPI starts to get it comes out and be supportive, and also the election, if let's say GOP gets some sort of the Senate, but the one thing about the election, we can see one of those things that the Georgia is going to go so tight that it's going to get delayed in terms of the announcement. So the market is really not going to be in a zone to know where we're going from there. So it's going to be the CPI again. If we don't know anything about the election on that night, and then 2 days later, it's going to be about the election, about the CPI. So the clear zones, 38.10 to 38.30. Below 3700, if we really don't get above the 38.10 to 38.30, so we can expect the retracement all the way back to that 3700 and potentially 3650, and then we go from there. So these are the two. We watch the rates. Obviously DXY and US dollar is also important. USD is showing a little bit of a weakness. We want to see if there's going to be any major traction to the downside. It all depends on the CPI. Again, it's a very key week. CPI. If the CPI comes out, lower than expected, not as hot as it's been the past 2 months, we can see some relief, because market is really supported with a lot of the oversupply wall tape that we have, in later in November and December. But we don't want to get caught into the opposite side of this. And the one thing that we saw back in 2018, and then from October to December, is slow, going down, and then we see some sort of a major crash. Not a crash. I'm not talking about the crash, but major push to the downside. But for now, it's all about that 38.10, 38.30 below 3700. If we don't, we're going for the 36.50 minimum. Have an awesome day. We'll talk soon.